Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? It's kind of having a little bit of an issue this morning of like wondering whether or not if I should you know do my open morning pages, whatever my talks, my sharing my thoughts about life and about things and situations and mental health and living life in my camper and you know um because yesterday I had my appointment with my therapist, and I don't know. She just kind of makes me question things and question my reality, my sanity, my whatever. Because I'm just because I've mentioned a few times where my therapist kind of encouraged me to you know have a YouTube channel. She said, you have a lot to say. You could probably help some people. And she's mentioned, at different times about, a possible, secondary, source of income in the future. Obviously that's not right now because I'm just getting started. This is a brand new channel, and it takes time to build up a following, and it takes time to be able to, get to a point where you can monetize, and maybe that'll happen for me one day, and maybe it won't. I don't know, but at the same time, I was kind of, it, I don't know. It's kind of confusing. I get really confused because, she was saying all these things to me before at different times, sporadically throughout the, last several months that we've been seeing each other, basically, and then she's all, I guess she's been watching some of my videos, so now she's, I don't know, it seemed like she was surprised that, I did it. I'm like, and she asked me, she's like, well, which one of your therapists suggested you do? I'm like, you're the therapist that suggested it. I'm just, and I'm like totally confused now. And now I'm just like, wondering, and I'm like, okay, did I like misread something? Am I hallucinating? What? Am I misinterpreting, conversations? Because I'm taking things for their word value. If you suggest to me, something about, a YouTube channel. And of course, I was against it for a while, but she kept bringing it up. And so because she kept bringing it, well, it's not like she brings it up every single appointment or anything, but, it's come up on several occasions at different times in different discussions, in different ways, which, has got me thinking about things and where I was at before. Obviously, probably not obvious because nobody knows about what my prior situation was or where I was living. But, it was a bit of a chaotic environment, so I couldn't really think straight. And since I got into my camper, I've been, trying to calm down a little bit. I'm not exposed to a lot of yelling and a lot of discourse and home life right now because I'm in my own place, even though, the camper's mine, the land is not. Um, so it's not like it's a permanent place for me to live, but at the same time it is because the camper is mine, and so I can pull it wherever I need to go. I'm still working on it. It's not ready, obviously, to do all of that, but I'm getting there one step at a time. But and then she mentioned things about, potentially oversharing and, and to be careful. She's like, oh, this is a public forum, and I wasn't meaning for you to be public, and, but she didn't express that. And so, it's like, I'm supposed to, like, she's expressing it now, but it's a bit kind of late. I've already started it. I already told her, it's just, like, so then I'm like getting torn. I'm like, well, should I, keep doing the YouTube thing? She's like, well, is it helping you? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I've been just getting started. I don't have like any followers really. I have three. 3 followers, so, only doing this for a short period of time. I have 3 followers. Nobody's really made any comments. I've had one comment on one video. Um, because like I said, this is a brand new channel. And, I have to wait for people that are interested in what I'm providing to find me. Um, And mostly, I guess, what I'm providing is just like an open space for dialogue. I do not have the ability in real life to connect with other people that think the way that I do, that have gone through similar situations and things that I have, and 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 I don't really have, and most, the people in my life just, don't really want to hear about it because they don't have the same experiences, and so, they don't have the same issues. They haven't had, the same life experiences, and so it's, or even similar. It's so. With that being said, I can't really, confide in anybody in my life, and on a deeper level. I tried doing that with my therapist, but then I often feel like I'm being too much or whatever. I'm being invalidated in some way. It's just, I don't feel heard because they're always trying to change my thought pattern instead of listening to my thought pattern and asking me questions about it as to why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. I really wish that people would ask more questions, as opposed to just giving me positivity uh, approaches or whatever. Because yeah, I feel like my experiences should be valid. It should be validated. I should feel validated in some way by somebody. Somebody. I don't know. It's quite the conundrum to be in. Do I keep using this space as a platform for not only um, showing how I'm learning to do things in my camper, but, is it also a way to connect with other people that are going through similar mental health issues? You know, I just feel like that people that are, going through a lot of the similar situations that I'm going through do not have a good, support system in order to be able to fully, acknowledge what's going on in their brain or whatever, their emotional side, their, and I want to be able to be honest. I want to feel like there's some place that I can be honest with my true feelings and with what's going on. Um, I understand about, oversharing to a degree, although, yes, I do overshare at some points. I don't always know where that line is. Actually, most of the time, I don't really know where that line is, but it's not like I'm trying to give you all my personal information. I'm just trying to talk about my thoughts and have a way of getting my thoughts out and trying to hear them be heard, and maybe have other people that have gone through similar situations, or have similar thoughts and maybe have similar ideas and can make comments on, my videos, the things that I'm talking about, as, a way of having some form of connection with other people that, are similar. I think everybody wants to feel heard. I think everybody wants to feel validated in what they're feeling and what they're going through and what they have gone through and what they've had to endure. Um, and without feeling, wrote off, without feeling like you're being too much, without feeling like, you're having to hide, your true feelings, even from your therapist, because they just want to keep twisting, what you're saying and what you're feeling into something else. Well, I first need to be heard. I first need to feel like I'm heard. I first need to feel like, somebody understands what I'm saying before they offer me a suggestion to change my thought processes into something else. I mean, if you don't ask the questions to know the full extent of a story or a situation, you're only getting a little tiny bit because you cut me off before I can finish. You're offering all these suggestions and things before I can even finish a sentence at times. It becomes extremely frustrated, and it makes me feel like I can't say what I need to say or feel like I need to say, because it's just no one is gonna really hear me because they're just trying to get me out the door. It's kind of frustrating. You need therapy, when you're having mental health issues and you need therapy and you want therapy because you need it, because you need to heal. You need to be able to move on with your life. You need to be able to find some joy, some happiness, some something somewhere. And then to feel like, there's very few people that can relate. And I think maybe that's the problem. I think maybe my therapist can't relate to what I'm going through, because I'm not sure, but I get the feeling that she's lived a fairly privileged life and has not had to deal with too many life issues, um, all difficult life decisions and life issues. And without somebody, I think that has had some challenges that they've had to overcome, how are you supposed to help somebody else? I'm just not sure. I'm still trying to work through this whole therapy thing. I'm still trying to go through it. Jill's trying to feel settled. But often a lot of these conversations cause me a lot of anxiety. I have anxiety over my, connecting, trying to discuss things with my therapist. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. So what do you do? I mean, if anybody else has any thoughts, I would love to hear it. I think I want to, keep continuing these morning pages. Maybe I'll put them into like a separate file or something. But I still want to make it public because, if I'm ever going to find anybody else that can relate to any of the things that I've had to deal with in my life, I have to be open and honest about it, right? I mean, how are you going to find your people if you're not honest about what you've been through, how you think, what your feelings are, what's, I don't know, just, it's difficult trying to continue in therapy when I feel so invalidated by my therapist a lot of times. And yeah, she's probably going to watch this, maybe. I don't know. It's like, that was another thing that kind of took me back, because I wanted to discuss, my psychological report that I got with her earlier this week. But she had watched my video about my psychological report. And she already, she's like, I already watched your video. I already know everything. And I'm like, but you haven't read everything. And I didn't discuss everything in my psychological report. I only discussed a few key points. I didn't discuss, like, all the other things. It was a 7-page report. Didn't discuss it all on my video because, some of those things are private and personal. I didn't give all the details. I just gave like some of the suggestions and trying to get my understanding of what my diagnoses were, but I didn't discuss any of the things in it that were, what the tester had observed, and the things that she said, outside of, that last page on the report, because that's really all I talked about on my thing was the very last page of 7 pages. And it's just, and then wanting to discuss the recommendations and things, and it's just, it was, I don't know, I kind of felt a little bit blown off a little bit because, I don't know, it's just, and then she brings up splitting. She's like, oh, maybe, you're splitting and all this, and I don't feel like I'm splitting, because I feel like in order to be splitting, I would first have had to had some kind of, grandiose feeling about somebody before it turning negative over a situation. And I've never had a grandiose feeling about somebody, because the entire time I've been trying to, find a connection and feel like, you know, is this somebody that's going to work for me or not going to work for me as far as therapy goes? Is this somebody that I feel like that I can have an open conversation with about some of my issues without, and I haven't had that. So, I don't know. I feel a bit invalidated, I guess, is where I'm coming from. And it almost made me feel like I should just quit the YouTube channel. But I'm like, at the same time, I want to be able to, use this platform, once I finish with my camper and get my camper and stuff squared away, and, I'm also, learning, my craft and art, and at some point in time, I would like to make art videos as well. And, maybe connect in some way as, to sell my artwork at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen. But, I feel like, this process takes a while. It's not something that you can expect to bear fruit right away. It's a process. Everything is a process. And, I don't need instant validation or gratification. I understand I need to work for things, and I am trying to work for things. But, the little bit of time that I get to spend with the therapist and not have any other outlet really for discussing things honestly and truthfully, I haven't told any of my family members about this channel. So the only person in my life that knows about it is my therapist. At this point, anyway. And then whoever happens to find me and watch my videos, if they relate to them, So, I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you think? I would love to have some comments, some insight from other people with mental health issues, and let me know. You know, I'm just, I would like to create a safe space for, dialogue where we can have open discussions without criticism and without people feeling invalidated, and without, you know, have some positive interactions with other people of similar life situations. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have a place for my voice. She tells me I have a lot to say, but then it feels like she's trying to inhibit me from saying those things. So I'm like, and she interrupts me so much, I don't really get to finish, a thought sometimes. And then I get cut off, and then I lose track, and then I can't get back to where I was because I've been cut off, and I lost the flow. It just disappeared. So I don't know. that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at this morning. I'm feeling like I'm in a bit of a conundrum this morning, trying to work through some things. As far as the camper goes, it's pretty warm in here. Uh, Kitties are all happy. Everybody's comfy. Um, I still need to finish doing the primer. I still have a lot more priming to do. So maybe I'll do some of that today. I'll do some primer painting and stuff. And oh, and I'm going. I started going through my tools yesterday, so I've got some things gone through. Um, but I have two more bins I have to go through, and I'm setting up a pile for donation, a pile for selling, and a pile to keep. And I have my toolbox that's going to stay in my Jeep, and I'll have the other stuff that I'm going to need for home stuff inside my camper under my bed. So yeah, so that's where we're at. Having my coffee, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have to go get something to eat. Don't know what yet, but I'll eat something. Probably more of my chicken. I bought a chicken a couple days ago, and I've been eating off of it for, I don't know, 3 days now. When did I buy that chicken? Maybe Monday. I think I bought it Monday. It's Friday now. I'm still eating off of it. That's pretty much all I'm eating is off this chicken. I've been like making wraps couple times a day. I'll make a wrap and I'll have a chicken wrap. And I don't have a lot in my refrigerator, so it's pretty much chicken, cheese, mustard, and garlic. That's it in a wrap. But it's good. It's tasty. I'm enjoying it. It's something easy. I don't have to worry about trying to figure out what to cook, feed myself. I can just go grab it when I'm hungry, which is pretty nice because I'm just not that much into cooking right now. And feeding myself is kind of difficult. So, food aversions, I guess we'll talk about that on another discussion. So, anyway, that's it for this morning, and I guess I will let you guys go and let me know what you think. And if you like my content, can you like my video and maybe subscribe to my channel, because that'll let me know if you're liking what I'm doing and if I should keep doing it. And that would be awesome to have a little insight from other people outside of just my therapist, because she's the only one that knows about my channel right now in my life. And sometimes honesty can be difficult for people. I don't really understand why. I prefer honesty, but a lot of people have trouble with it. Doesn't make sense, but it's the way it is. So, such is life. All right. So, I'll see you later. Bye for now.